Hello, students, and welcome to part 2 of the prose lesson Voyaging Towards Excellence by Achyut Godbole. In the last video, that is part 1, we have seen how Achyut Godbole did not only like maths and science, but he loved other subjects too. He used to not study them for scoring maximum marks, but he would do that because he loved the way the subjects were. He loved them for their inherent, that is, their natural beauty. So he studied all the major things like Newton's law of motion, Pythagorean theorem, then physics, mathematics, whatever it was, with lot of love. And so whatever we do out of love, we do it with our complete hard work and attention. So he was when he was in the seventh standard, he did not only solve the problems which were in seventh standard syllabus, but also would love to solve the problems of ninth standard as well. So in this way, what happened is because he would solve these problems not to just get their solution, but to find out various easy ways how he could solve a particular problem. So he would enjoy finding out the most elegant method of solving a problem. So these problems were not a part of the curriculum, but he enjoyed the entire process. Now, this attitude helped him to imbibe in himself what is known as the problem solving attitude. That is, he started solving every problem so easily because he would try to find the easiest way in solving the problem. And this attitude of looking beyond marks, he just did not, give any attention to the marks that he achieved after he could solve the problem, but he just wanted to get to the solution, and that too in the easiest manner. So this was to seek joy in solving any challenging problems. It helped him to develop this problem solving attitude. And this became very helpful for him in his IIT entrance, that is JEE exam. Because this particular exam is completely based on your problem solving ability and the ability to think not only logically but quickly and rapidly. And so because he was in the practice of doing this, so since maybe his childhood, or maybe maybe in his early school days, he had this quality inbuilt in him. And so it was very much easy for him to give this exam, which particularly tested the logical thinking of the students, and that too in a quick and rapid manner. So he scored 100% marks in mathematics in almost all the examinations that he appeared, right from standard first until IIT. So such was the person Achyut Godbole, that he excelled in this subject, that is mathematics subjects particularly, not suddenly somewhere in his school life, but it was consistent right from his schooling days, right from his first standard until he passed the IIT. So during the entire lifespan of his education, he almost always topped in mathematics with 100% mark. Okay, only maybe sometimes he would just miss mark or two, but other than that, he always got 100% in mathematics. When he was in the SSC, that is 10th standard, like we call it, he stood 16th in the board at that time. So we are talking about, many years ago. When he passed out his 10th standard, he stood 16th in the entire board. And that time, the examination was for the whole of Maharashtra, including Nagpur. So now we have, region wise, but during that time, it was for the entire Maharashtra. And in entire Maharashtra, he stood 16th, and he also stood first in the university in all subjects put together. Okay, so that was his achievement when he was at a young age. Now I said about the JEE exam. JEE is what it is, joint entrance examination. Okay, now those days, that when he was studying his college, those days you could get an admission into IIT without the entrance test. Now nowadays we have this entrance test, that is JEE, which you have to pass if you need an admission in the IIT. Okay, so if you want the admission in the IIT, you have to pass JEE with good grades. But during his time when he studied, uh, you know, what was the different condition is that if you had secured the first rank in the university, okay, if you had secured the first rank in the university, then you don't have to give the entrance exam, okay, because obviously if you've stood first in the university, which means you are an excellent student, you are an outstanding student. So if you are an outstanding student already, then there is no need for you to write this entrance exam, because we know your aptitude, okay. So therefore did not have to appear for the entrance test to get the admission into IIT. But nobody in Solapur, that is where he studied, nobody told him about this, because nobody knew about this. So he appeared for the entrance exam and he also secured very good rank in the same. Okay. So have you understood that what kind of environment he is today? We are so much exposed to all kinds of information everywhere. We have mobiles, we have laptops, we have so many people around us who are well versed with all the kinds of information. So you have to just ask and you have to just Google it, and all the information will be right in front of you. But when Achyut Godbole was in his academic career, he saw that people hardly knew about what are the various scopes and what are the various things that were implemented in the education field. And so because he did not know that there is no entrance exam which had to be written if you had topped the university, he did not know that. So he anyhow actually wrote the entrance exam, and he also got good grades in that. Now, so he because he got good grades everywhere, he managed to get into IIT. But his joy was short lived. Short lived means it did not last for a long time. Why? Because for his IIT he got admission in Mumbai. Okay, IIT Mumbai. So he had to leave Solapur and he had to come to Mumbai. Now when he was living in Solapur, all he had seen was hardly few buildings, just maybe 2 to 3 story, that is 2 to 3 floors, that's all. Okay, in Solapur, because it was a small place. So he had seen only that much. But when he came to Mumbai, we all know what is Mumbai made up of. And so he saw these huge skyscrapers and he was amazed by looking at this. Anyhow, he got the admission in IIT. He came in IIT, and when he started attending the classes there, most of the students and professors used to converse in English, because you are studying in an English medium college, and that to IIT. So they have their standard of conversations, and everybody, including the students and the teachers, all of them came from well educated background, and so everybody used to speak in English. Now, Achyut Godbole was intelligent, and so he had come into IIT Mumbai. But he was from a Marathi medium school, hence his English was very, very poor, because he had his entire education in Marathi, and so his English was very poor. So, whenever these people would speak around him, it would be very difficult for him to understand. So, his spoken English was quite pathetic. Pathetic is weak. Okay, and he did not have a very weak vocabulary. Okay, that is, he did not know much of the words in English, but also his pronunciation was terrible. Okay, he did not know how to pronounce a particular word, and the construction of English sentences were very awkward, to say the least. Okay, so in every aspect of speaking in English, that is the vocabulary, the pronunciation, the construction of sentences, all the areas, he was extremely weak. For him, English was a new subject. Okay, something maybe he studied the basics in school, while he was in school in a Marathi medium school. He must have studied the basic, but when he came here, all of a sudden it was very difficult for him to understand the level of English that everyone else spoke around him. So according to him, his English was very, very bad. He could not understand what people were speaking, a lot of it around him. And so he also was not able to speak to them, because he did not know how to speak properly in English. Now, because of all of this, he started feeling quite lonely, because he was the only one who could not talk to anyone in English. And if he spoke to them in other language, then they would make fun of him. So he was very lonely. He felt very lonely and terrified, that is, scared in Mumbai. Okay, he felt very scared because he came all the way alone from Solapur. This was a new place for him, a new setting, a new environment was new for him, and in that his speaking skills also were was so bad. So in general, he felt really very scared, and whenever he was in IIT particularly, he felt all the more awkward. So he started developing an inferiority complex, that is, he started seeing himself as small. He started seeing himself as someone who is not capable of doing anything, a person who is very very small, or very very uh, uneducated, or maybe not like uneducated, but he was educated, but like compared to others, he saw himself as someone who is lacking the ability of being in that place. So he wanted to just run away from IIT, and he wanted to run away from Mumbai and just go back to his hometown, that is in Solapur, because of all of these things which were happening around him. But one day what happened is, while he was sitting in the mess, okay, mess is that canteen area where he was sitting on the table, and in the hostel he was just sipping tea on the table. While he was doing that, a senior, okay, a person who was 1 year ahead of him in IIT, he just came there and he sat on the chair, okay, just in front of him. And when he sat, he just introduced himself, and that time Achyut Godbole came to know that this person was a convent educated. Now convent educated, why people prefer convent educated students is because in convent it is run by the sisters and brothers and priests and all of those, and they have a very good level of English in their schools and colleges. So a person who has been a convent educated, a person who has studied in a Catholic school, then it was very understandable that they have a very good level of education and very good English speaking skills. So this particular boy who came and sat in front of Achyut Gorbole, he was a convent educated guy and very much sophisticated. Sophisticated means classy. He had a particular level of behavior in the society. So he had very good English, and at least spoken or colloquial English. Okay, so the way he spoke in English was so sophisticated, was so polished, that Achyut Godbole was like literally shocked and surprised by the way he spoke. So he was a bit arrogant. Now, obviously, he is a senior, and also his level of English and everything is so high. So he started becoming a little arrogant, and he wanted to pull Achyut Godbode's leg, because he knew that he was, not that good in his English, and so he started making fun of him. Now, when he tried to engage in some conversation with him and started pointing out errors, so Achyut also, tried his best by, responding to him in English. And whenever he used to speak in English, this boy used to make fun of him. He would, point out errors in his sentences and everything that he said. Now, about 5 minutes, he did all of this and he walked away after he insulted Achyut. Okay, so this entire conversation was so disturbing for Achyut Godbole, because a person had literally insulted the way Achyut would speak in English. His entire intelligence was just crashed by this particular person's behavior and the way he pointed out errors in Achyut Godbole's speaking. So he was very much taken aback, he was depressed, he was disheartened, and he felt extremely humiliated, insulted, and upset. Okay, because he knew the caliber that he had, he knew the intelligence that he had, he knew that how good he was in his academics, and how well a person he was as a student. Okay, and how much hard he had worked to see himself in this particular place. And today, if somebody is making fun of me for one particular thing, then he was really disturbed about it. And as it is, he was feeling quite depressed and diffident, because he was a new place. All this while he was at his home, he was with his people, and suddenly he is here all alone facing all these kind of insult and humiliation. So he felt really very bad. And this incident, that particular incident where that boy came and insulted him in the mess, that was the last straw. That is the maximum bearable limit. Like till now, he was bearing all of these things and he was trying to put up with the situation. But that particular insult, that insulting situation was the last straw for him. He could not bear any further, and he was almost broken. He felt out of place there, and he literally wanted to run away to Solapur that very moment. But it was only his self esteem. Self esteem means self respect, which stopped me. He stopped at that moment over there, and he thought for a moment that why should I run away? I am somebody who has worked so much hard in my life. I am gifted with such kind of intelligence, with such kind of brilliance. Then why should I run away? I have a respect for myself, for the way I have, might be an inspiration for someone. And how, if I run away from here, then how am I going to prove myself? How am I going to prove to everyone the person that I am, the intelligence that I possess? So suddenly he started feeling, determined, and he started getting a feeling of determination, that is strength of mind. Okay, he started getting the strength from within, and it came all over him, and it, like, kind of wrapped him, and he just started thinking that despite, okay, that he was from Solapur, if I am a rank holder in school, if I am a university topper, if I am, the person who has always excelled in my college, and I have, got this admission in IIT with so many awards in mathematics, there certainly has to be something right with me. There certainly has to be something different in me. If I was not capable, then I would not be in this place. The very fact that I am in IIT today, the very fact that I have got so many awards for my so many achievements till date, it shows and it proves that I am gifted. I am a person who is capable of doing everything if I can, if I want to. So then, if all these things are given to me, if I am a person that way, then why should I give up? And that too for a silly and small thing like English. That's just a language. If he has excelled in so many subjects all this years, and all this while he has done so well in all the subjects in school, then why should he be afraid of a subject like English? So he was not to give up anymore, and he decided on that particular moment that he will fight back. He will make it happen. He can do it, and he will take a mastery over the language English. So that day, when he climbed the stairs of his hostel room, he started planning in his mind that how am I going to do all of this? How am I going to improve my English? How am I going to get mastery over this particular language? So normally, most of us who are educated in vernacular languages, like, some students come from Marathi medium school, some students come from Gujarati medium school, like, your mother tongue language, okay, a vernacular medium where English is not a medium of teaching and learning. Apart from that, other language schools, if you come from such kind of background in your school, then you think, like, if you are coming from a particular, like, the example that he gives here, he has come from a Marathi medium school. So a person who has educated in Marathi medium school, what he will do, everything that has been, that is being spoken in front of him, he will start thinking all of those things in Marathi, and before speaking it in another language, maybe here in his condition it is English, what he would do is he would translate whatever he spoke in Marathi, he would translate that in English, and then he would somehow try to speak out these translated English sentences in an extremely awkward fashion. Usually it does not happen. When you are talking from one language to the other, the sentence construction, the use of words, the tenses, everything changes, okay? So there is a slight change in all of the composition of the entire sentence. And so literally to translate the sentence from a particular language to another language, maybe Marathi to English, is not the way that it is done, okay? So he started thinking that how can I do it, how can I improve my English? So he decided that he would do nothing of this sort. He would not, just translate from Marathi to English. He wanted to achieve excellence. Achyut Godbole was a person who believed in excellence in everything that he did. Right up from his schooling till his college days, he just wanted to excel in whatever he did. And so it came to getting mastery over English. This desire of excelling in anything that you try to do has been with me since the childhood. So, see, my dear students, this is one more inspiring quality that Achyut Godbole he had. Okay, we somehow all of us think that, yes, I will study because I want to just pass my examination. I will study just because I want to get few grades, or I will study only the amount of marks that I require for getting admission in a good college. But for Achyut Godbole, the thinking was completely different. He would study because he wanted to excel. He just wanted to be extraordinary in his every subject that he studied. From the childhood he had this particular mindset. Okay, so whether he would succeed in this or not, he always set his aims high. Like, if I am capable, I know, of 70%, then I will set my aims to 90%. I just want to excel. And when I am looking at that particular aim, which is as high as it can be, then I'm sure that I will put my best of the efforts in getting the particular grade. Okay, so in this case too, he wanted to speak excellent. He just didn't wanted to speak average level of English, but he wanted to speak excellent, elegant, fluent English, an English which had a proper sentence construction, an English which had a very high vocabulary, an English which had all the possible qualities that a particular English language should have. All those he wanted to have in his English speaking skills, and so he started working towards it. And the first thing he did was to start reading English newspapers and English novels. That was the first step that he took. What, I want to learn English, right? So what I should do is, instead of someone telling me or someone teaching me, let me grab an English newspaper, let me grab an English novel. And while I am reading the English newspaper and English novel, I will come across the proper sentences, I will come across proper grammatical framing of the sentences. I will come across so many new vocabulary, so many new words with so many different meanings. And all of these things I will get right in front of me if I read an English newspaper and an English novel. So he started doing that first. After that, what he did is he studied the etymology and phonetics and studied the roots of the words and how to pronounce them. See, etymology means from where a particular word has origin. See, you can see here. What is the meaning of etymology? Etymology is the study of the origin of words and the way in which their meanings have changed throughout history. Okay, so if I am saying a word, a particular word, like for example, pronounce. So why is the word pronounce called pronouns? What is the history of this particular word? From which other language has this word been derived? All these things he started studying about every word in English, and also the phonetics. Phonetics is the pronunciation of each and every letter or each and every word in a particular sentence. So all of those things he started studying in detail. He used to stand in front of the mirror and he used to practice speaking, and he would then realize his mistakes and would correct them himself. Okay, he would not expect somebody else to be there in front of him to listen to him and then make corrections. No, he would stand in front of the mirror, he would identify what mistakes he's making, and he would correct himself all the time, and improvising day by day. So in this way, Achyut Godbole started working hard towards improving his English. And it took about 9 to 10 months of vigorous practice, vigorous hard work, by which time he started feeling so confident about speaking in English at length with anybody. Okay, so maybe it is the students in IIT, or the teachers in IIT, or the professors in IIT, whoever it was, he was so confident while speaking in English because he had worked extremely hard in those 9 to 10 months, and because of his confidence, his fear had vanished, and he started feeling at home in his hostel. Because other fields he was excelling already, he had mastery over other subjects already. All he wanted to do and all he had to do was improve his English. And once now that he had got the hang, or he had got the mastery over the language English, his fear went away, his fear was no more existing, and now he started feeling very much comfortable with the environment in IIT, with the people around, because he was able to talk to them, he was able to converse with them, he was able to sit at the table and have a conversation with all of them, because he had got the language very much right. Okay, so in this way we see a particular incident in Achyut Godbole's life, wherein there is just one thing that maybe you are not good at, and because of that one thing, if you are lacking in something, then it is your decision how you want to make your life great, or how you want to change your life by getting a mastery over that one particular thing, and always having this behavior, or always having this feeling in yourself that no matter whatever I do in life, I will try my best to do the best. That is, I will try my best to excel in everything that I do. And with that, my dear students, I'm sure you will be able to reach greater heights, and you will be able to achieve your goals, your aims, your ambitions in life. And so, with this, we shall stop for today. We shall continue with this inspiring story of Achyut Godbole in the next video. Until then, please grab your textbook, read the lesson at least till here, and maybe you might, find some new insights about his life by yourself reading. Okay, so please go through the text, and until next time, thank you and have a nice day.